Folks, we're back, folks. Sorry about that. Our live stream got cut off because I guess we can't air AEW stuff on here, like clips. So we were watching that CM Punk Eddie Kingston that promo. After talking about that match, which was fantastic, that promo, I implore everybody to go watch that promo. It is great stuff, fantastic stuff. If you missed our last live, we talked about all the matches on AEW Full Gear up until the main event. We're about to talk about the main event right now, but we overall we loved the show. It was fantastic.
That was great.
Mm-hmm. And that brings us to our main event, ladies and gentlemen, which was Adam Page versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Title. And man, oh man, what a main event. What a main event.
It was.
It was fantastic. While I share this link with everybody, please let everybody know what you thought.
I thought it was an overall great match, and I loved the intrigue near the end of what were the Young Bucks going to do when they came down to the ring. Like when Young Bucks came down to the ring and were standing outside of the ring, you're like, okay, who are they going to help, or what are they doing?
It was an incredible match. There was a moment in the match where I was like, no, don't tell me they're about to screw up Page here. I thought that when they brought out the Young Bucks.
No, they. I think the Young Bucks rationale there was okay. Omega didn't come out and help us during our match earlier, so we're not gonna go to her way to go in the ring and help him.
No, it was one of those matches. The right guy won, and it was a fantastic match all around.
The only thing we didn't mention that happened right before that was Jay Lethal's debut.
Oh yeah, please talk about that. I thought it
was Jay Lethal's debut. I mean, that I marked out hard for that one because I'm a huge Jay Lethal fan. From his days in Impact alone, I'm a huge Jay Lethal fan. He's he's versatile enough that he could work with almost anybody in the card, but he doesn't seem to have the attitude that he has to be a main eventer.
I loved that woo-off he did with Ric Flair.
Yes.
It was great. It was great. It was it was hilarious.
I was thankful that when my girlfriend was watching the pay-per-view with me last night, because she's not a huge wrestling fan, but we're getting her into it because everybody else in the house is a wrestling fan. I was thankful that before he even came out last night, we had previously showed her the Ric Flair woo-off because then she had a better idea of who he was.
Yeah.
But not only the Ric Flair woo-off, just his whole black machismo gimmick he did, of black macho man gimmick and Impact was in TNA was wonderful.
It really was. He should have been an Impact champion, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. He was X Division champion, but he was never.
By the way, if you can hear any noise in the background, that is my parents. They are vacuuming the basement. Apparently, I don't know why. It's odd. But if you hear that kind of noise, that's what's going on. I love the main event. I'm not a big fan of Kenny Omega. In our last video, we got into why. I'm not a fan of Kenny Omega. I'm just not. I have my opinions on the guy, and they're my opinions. I can't get behind a guy that beats up 9-year-old kids and blow up dolls. I can't get behind that. I'm sorry. It's just not for me.
The one thing I did enjoy about that match is, if people haven't watched from New Japan, was the sign in the audience. What would Kota think? That was his former tag partner in New Japan.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're really close.
I'm gonna say this. I am gonna praise Kenny Omega a bit. I know, surprise. Things happen. That was the best match I've seen of Kenny Omega last night. So
One of
there
them.
you go.
In AEW, yes.
Yeah. So
If
anyway,
you go watch his match in New Japan against Jericho, that's right up there with this one.
All right. That was AEW Full Gear, ladies and gentlemen. It was fantastic. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. It's worth your viewership. I promise. I promise you. Let's shift gears for just a moment. Let's switch gears for just a moment. Joel, we're going to talk about music for a second. Are you a fan of Tom McDonald?
No, I haven't heard much of them.
Oh, he has a new song out called Balloons. What?
Nothing. Just girlfriend checking in. You said he has a song called Balloons?
Yeah. And man, this dude's going through it. He was talking about it's hard, or he didn't say it was hard, but he was like there are days where he doesn't want to be famous. He's tired of the fame. He just wants to be Tom McDonald. He's tired of people constantly. There are days where he doesn't want people to come up to him and just take pictures of him and all that crap. And
that would be hard. That would be hard for a celebrity.
Yeah, he wants low key. He wants to be low key. But the hook on that song is. I'm going to see if I can play a little bit of the hook. We're going to be careful, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to play the hook, but it is tremendous. But we got to be very careful here because our last stream we got shut down by YouTube, so we got to be careful here. We're only going to play a couple of seconds of it. And I know I saved it, so it's right here. Here you go.
This is not what I.
Okay.
Embarrassed that everyone.
Here you go. Here's the hook.
It's a scary. Watch me float away while I scream no. Every time I get close, people love their phones. But maybe this time we can see them explode. Me up like a balloon and let me go. They are throwing rocks cause they tryna poke holes. They wanna see me pop, they don't wanna see me blow. The reason that I'm gone, they don't wanna see me go. Me up like a balloon and left. I missed the year.
So there you go. That was the hook for the song. That's a really good, nice hook. Did you hear any of it?
Yeah.
It was a nice hook, was it not?
Yeah, it was good.
It was tremendous. I'm a huge Tom McDonald fan. In some of his songs, in one song he does a song called Boom Bap 101. And in that song he goes, I wrestled to the Intercontinental like Yoda Championship or something like that. And then he goes, I'm Seth Rollins, I'm John. He goes like, I'm Dwayne Johnson, I'm Seth Rollins, I'm Steve Austin. And I'm like, okay, name some good ones. Naming some good wrestlers right there. I was like, yeah. And he did a diss track against Mac Lethal, and he said they're going to need a whole family of Coppins when you Christian Walden to solve all your problems. I'm like, damn, that's deep. That was brutal. They're going to need a whole family of Coppins when you Christian Walden. I'm like, damn, chill out. It ain't that serious, you know? I just, Tom McDonald's another one of those rappers that I love a lot of his songs. But before this song, like 2 or 3 of his songs were all basically the same type of song. It was, he's a political rapper, and he raps about like Republic. He raps about what's going on in American politics, pretty much, and he gives his take on it. And 2 or 3 of his songs, like in a row, were just all him basically saying the same thing. And it was like, okay, come on, give us something new, give us something new. And he gave us something new with that song Balloons, and I just thought it was tremendous. Yeah. Well, we got to talk about. Let's switch gears here. Let's talk about AEW. Let's talk about WWE Tribute to the Troops tonight, or this afternoon.
I didn't see it, so I'd be interested to hear. I didn't know what the matches were.
There were 3 matches. Now, on my television, it said, and I looked up. I even looked up the guy on my TV, and it said 3 o'clock. WWE Tribute to the Troops is going to play on Fox. So at 3 o'clock, I go to Fox, and it says it's airing Tribute to the Troops. But guess
Football.
what? It wasn't airing football. It was something to do with the troops. It wasn't WWE Tribute to the Troops. It was like honoring veterans or something like that.
Okay.
By the way, little fact here, little historical fact. There is in Colorado, where I live, there is one World War II veteran left alive. Now, last year there were 3. So, in that course of a year, 2 of them passed away. So, there's one left alive here in the state of Colorado. It's in a little town. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But that's just a little fact. But that's what was airing, was stuff like that. And I'm like, but it says it's airing WWE Tribute to the Troops, but it's not. They were off by an hour because Tribute to the Troops aired at 4 instead of 3.
Okay.
So I turned it on and I watched a little bit of it. I watched, I didn't watch all of it, admittedly. I watched a little bit, but I saw clips of it on YouTube. Big E defeated Dolph Ziggler. Roman Reigns defeated Shinsuke Nakamura. And Bianca Belair defeated Liv Morgan. All those matches
seems like weird matches.
Yeah, they were random matches, and didn't really see any
why
troops
Big
out
E
there in the
versus Ziggler?
audience. I didn't see any troops out there in the audience. I'm gonna be real. I'm not saying that there weren't any out there. I just didn't see any of them. Yeah, it was. From what I saw, it didn't suck. I've always wanted to see Roman Reigns and Shinsuke Nakamura 1-on-1, so I guess that was kind of cool. It's just, this was one of those throwaway shows. Like, if you didn't catch it, you didn't miss it. It's like, whatever. They do it together, which is kind of, looking into this, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to the troops that they did that like that.
Yeah.
Nothing that you do for the troops should ever be just throwaway. I mean, the troops deserve all of our honor and all of our respect. And if we're going to give them the honor, we need to give them 100% of it. WWE distributed the troops, they gave 50%. And that's just not good enough, in my opinion. What say you?
Yeah, no, I mean, sure, the Shinsuke Roman match sounds okay, but does anybody really want to see Big E versus Ziggler?
No.
And I have no issues with, honestly, I have no issues with Ziggler. Zero issues with Ziggler, but did anybody actually legitimately think that Ziggler was going to beat Big E?
No, there's no realm of the earth that anybody thought that Ziggler was going to beat Roman.
Then why have that match?
Right, exactly. Thank you. They just did, I think, because they had to do something and whatever. It means nothing. We'll put it on a random Sunday afternoon. I mean, they could have at least waited till next Sunday, the Sunday before Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, you're in Canada. American Thanksgiving,
yeah. I knew what you meant.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. They could have waited for that at least.
Or put it on what was November 11th up here, which was actually Remembrance Day.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Play it on the actual day that you're supposed to remember the troops, not just some random throwaway day of, oh yeah, we'll play it sometime close to that.
Right. It's just I thought it was distasteful.
I mean, I think COVID affected things as well, probably because of audience in some ways of where they could go, because they usually go to like an army base or something.
Overseas,
So
yeah. I
that may have affected it, but that still doesn't affect the potential for matches they could have had.
I did have a question from the last stream for you. Do you think it's easier to be a heel or a babyface?
I think it depends on the person, but I think overall it would be easier to be a heel.
Yeah, because you could just be a dick, right?
Exactly.
As a good guy, you got.
Nobody's perfect all the time. I mean, being a face, you have to be. I mean, the only way I would say it would be easy to pull off a face is if you were able to, is if somebody was able to duplicate Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero, because they were trying to make him a heel all the time, and people just loved him too much.
Hey, let's talk about Eddie for a second, because yesterday, as you pointed out on the previous podcast that we did a couple moments ago, yesterday was the 16th anniversary of his tragic passing, and I remember I was 12 years old. I'll let you tell your story of how you found out he died in a minute. I was 12 years old. I lived in a different house it was just the different house I lived in, ironically, was just like across the street from us. We didn't move very far. And that house was huge. By the way, I'll give you a little insight on that house. There was so you had upstairs, which is where mine and my sister's bedrooms were. And then you had a loft, which is like an upstairs living room. And we had a TV up there, and I was able to play all my video games up there and stuff like that. And then you had the main floor, which was... Ron. I'll call you in a minute, Ron. It was the main floor is where you had the kitchen and the family room and dining room. You also had a computer room on that main floor. And in the basement, I'll tell you another funny story here in a minute. In the basement, it was actually a finished basement. So we had how many rooms we have? We had we had 2 bedrooms in the basement and a little family room in the basement as well. So it was like 3 apartments in one, pretty much, right? Yeah. And there was like a little bathroom and a kitchen area in the basement and everything. And I was in the family room. Or I was not in the family room. I was in the computer room on the main level, and I was on the computer and I was just playing, jacking off like I always do. Not like that, but just looking at news sites and stuff. And I went to WWE.com and I saw Eddie Guerrero passed away. Well, my mind immediately went to what happened that Friday night on that Friday night on SmackDown, where Eddie took a brutal chair shot from Mr. Kennedy. That was the last time we saw him, right? I'm like, this is just a little gimmick, this is just storyline. They're not, he's not really dead, right? All of a sudden, I refreshed the page about 2 minutes later, and there are several videos of wrestlers on WWE.com sending tributes to Eddie, and they're all like crying, right? I'm like, what the hell is going on? And so I did some more research on it, and I found out Eddie passed away. Like, oh, damn, that sucks. Didn't lose my shit about it. Didn't start crying about it until they did the Raw, where they did the tribute for him. They had all those wrestlers up on stage. And you could see some of them crying, most of them crying. I'm like, oh, man, I'm getting goosebumps now talking about it.
I know.
It was, and then they did the video, and that's when I was like, fuck.
Worst part is, do you know who found him?
His nephew, Chavo.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, I know. That, oof.
No, I was at work at the time and working at a call center and looked it up, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Between calls, I'm like looking up just WB stuff. I'm like, Eddie Guerrero dead. And I'm like, what?
Did you cry?
And then saw the Monday Night Raw, and I'm like, shit.
Did you cry?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I loved Eddie.
Yeah. Who didn't love Eddie? He was fantastic. Real quick side story. You remember the night that Ric Flair had his retirement ceremony on Raw? Okay, it was at the same house I was telling you about, with the loft, the main level, and the base. Yeah. At that point, my grandma lived with us, and my uncle lived with us, and my sister and my grandma were in the basement watching TV in my grandma's room. I know what everybody's thinking. Why is grandma sleeping in the basement? We had bedrooms down there. They were comfortable. It was fine. Anyway, and so my sister and my grandma were watching TV in the basement, and I was watching Raw in the upstairs in the loft, all the way upstairs in the loft, right? So I'm all the way upstairs in the loft, and she's all the way in the basement. So I'm mocking this at first, right? I'm mocking everybody in the ring, crying. I'm like, oh, right? Making fun of it. And my sister texts me to come at our dog Rocky out to go to the bathroom, and he was downstairs with my grandma and my sister. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, cool, right, bro? I don't even know how this happened, but somewhere between the loft and the basement, the fake crying, the oh boo hoo hoo, suddenly became real. It was, and so by the time I get to the basement, I'm blubbering like an idiot. I'm like, come on, Rocky, let's go. My grandma's like, honey, what's wrong? Right? I'm like, and as soon as she asked me what was wrong, I lost myself. I'm like, retiring. And she's like, oh, honey. And she just gave me a hug. She comforted me. My sister's over in the corner just, come on. Really? Just rolling her eyes. And yeah, that was a little funny story for you. But yeah, no, Eddie was something else, man. He was, that guy is truly the definition of gone too soon. And another year gone without him. R.I.P. Eddie. I'm gonna get emotional now talking about him. Damn it. I'm gonna get emotional. Oh man. Oof.
Eddie Guerrero and Owen Hart, two wrestlers who went too soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I got nothing to say about it's a lot of these wrestlers they're passing away too soon, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Be it drugs or alcohol or whatever, and you don't really get to see some of these guys live up to their full potential, and it's tough, man. It's tough. I wonder if Eddie were still alive today, would he still be involved in the pro wrestling business in some way, shape, or form?
Yes. Yes.
You think so?
Yes. Not WWE, but yes.
I think so too. He would be like a head coach in AEW or something. He would be contributing any way he could.
Commentary.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
Eddie Guerrero on commentary. That would have been
fantastic. He would have been way better than Excalibur. That's for sure. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I'd honestly rather see AEW hold off until Lawler's contract is up and have Lawler in there with JR over Excalibur.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
JR, Lawler, and Shivani. That would be a team.
Man. Oof. Yeah, buddy.
But I think you're eventually going to see guys like Taz and Jericho do more commentary after a while.
Oh, how cool would it be if we saw Jerry the King Lawler and Tony Schiavone and Michael Cole, or no, not Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler, Tony Schiavone, and Jim Ross on AEW Dynamite on Monday or on Wednesdays. That's their main show, and then on AEW Rampage, Taz and Michael Cole and Excalibur.
See, I think Excalibur should be on Dark.
I'm sorry?
give Excalibur more experience by going on Dark or Dark Evolution.
Yeah. Should we call my Uncle Ronnie live on the show? Should we do it?
If you want to continue with him, I'll let you guys go at it. I'll take off and let you guys continue on if you want.
It's not going to be a long conversation. I'll have you say hi to him. It's not going to be a long conversation or nothing. He's probably just calling about tomorrow. Nothing. There's no private info, so don't worry.
All good. No, girlfriend's bugging me. She wants me downstairs soon. So.
Oh, does she? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this edition of the Supplemania and Friends podcast. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you get notified when we upload new content. I upload new content weekly. Joel, I believe you and I have some new shows coming out. We have our own new podcast coming out.
Yeah, we should. We'll have to figure out schedule a time, but you and I should do another podcast.
Yeah, well, we have our own series. Was it you that agreed to be my guest host for a couple of weeks? Yeah. Oh, that's what we were supposed to do today. Oh snap! You know what? I'll cover the year 1993 tomorrow with my host. Not my host, but with my guest, Jonathan Jones. So we'll cover 1993 tomorrow. Like I said, I'm Sabomania. He's Joel Woods. We botched up this whole ending. I don't care. It's live. Go with it. Nobody's watching anyway, so who cares? If you don't subscribe, Lakeisha's going to come to your house, give you the same face, and tell you.
And he'll have done it for The Rock.
Till next time, we're out. Deuces.
Later.